The only poison I've had is ivy. The only man I fear is God. No snakes can make me run now, 'cause I've been bit by a moth. No buck can stare me down, no neighbor can shut me up. I'm off the grid and I'm off my rocker. I'm off either.
Hey, y'all, boys. It's been a minute. I'm sorry for that. Been a rough winter for me. Been very sick. I ended up getting that new thing, COVID. I'm still a firm believer that it's not that bad. It put me out of work for 2 weeks, but it wasn't no different than when I get bronchitis. I get bronchitis twice a year, every year, messes my lungs up. You know, no big deal. So, anyway, little recap on season. As y'all know, I lost a big buck. If everything goes everything goes right, I will be getting that head back. Somebody's going to court, and they are technically, how'd they say it, poaching after the fact. So there'll be a little more on this story, and how long it's going to take me to get my deer head back. I did tell the DNR to donate my meat. They were going to hold it, but I did kill 2 does this year, so I wasn't concerned with that. But that's for another story. Update on Jones. Jonesy's been doing really good too. Jones has been working on his new house, and it's almost done. Can't wait to show y'all some befores and endings of this one. Jones tagged out for his first year. I started Jonesy 3 or 4 years ago. I'd have to look now. It's been a minute. But he tagged out. He got to tag out with his daughter, which was amazing. I got to be there with him with his first buck. He shot a great big old spike. 5 minutes before I shot my very big monster buck that I shot, and we weren't but 50 yards apart. He got to tag out in the same place where Hannah killed her buck during youth, and where Nana Bug got her first one. Hannah shot. I'll have to get Jonesy and Hannah to give you that story, but from what I understood, doe come in, Hannah shot. It kind of like weeble wobbled and fell over. Another one come in, Jones shot it. It ran about 25-30 yards and died like almost the same spot as Hannah's buck. So Hannah got 2. I got 3, but I tagged 2 because of the buck situation. Nana Bug got 1. Ashley didn't get any. And Jonesy tagged out. He got 3. And my buddy Dustin did it all in 1 year. Above and beyond, you know. He's hunted with me a partial season 2 years ago. And then a year ago, he hunted with me and Jones like all year last season. And then this past season that just passed, which I'm still saying it's this season, he got some private property, and he did hunt some public land, but he killed all 3. He got buck and 2 does, and I'm not 100 on this, but I'm pretty sure he did it all with his crossbow. It took him throughout the whole season to do it, but he did do it. He got his first deer, his second deer, and his third deer all in the same year, and he got buck and 2 does, and the buck, I think, was a basket rack 8, which it doesn't matter, you know, any buck's a trophy, especially when it's your first buck. If it gets your gears going, by all means, don't let anybody tell you any different. Now, I know I'm long-winded, and I know you all don't want to hear me talk a whole bunch, and you're probably going to fast forward through all this shit. The reason I'm on here is I am restoring a 1946 Marlin model 81 DL tube fed bolt action. I got this barrel, and I mean I got a barrel from a buddy of mine. They were going to throw it away. Don't do that. I'll take it. It had a barrel and the outer tube and a broken bolt. No stock, no trigger, nothing else. Throughout the years, I have been collecting these things, and now I have officially collected everything. During COVID, I got to sit here and scroll through the internet quite a bit, and one of my favorite places is Numrich. I don't know if you guys have been there, but they have almost every classic gun. This one, they did not. For a long time, they did not have anything for this gun. They didn't even have a schematic for me to see how this bolt is supposed to come apart. Because, and I'll get to that in a minute, I know bolts come apart. I know you can fix them. I know you change everything out. And this has two separate types of firing pins in it. One major pin that goes forward, which is your slam pin, and then goes into the firing pin, which sets off the round. Okay, and there's springs and other things inside this bolt. Let me turn my camera around here. Okay, so I have acquired a stock, and I've been sanding on it. It wasn't the best shape. Yes, this is not going to be a 100% back to factory restoration because the gun's not worth a whole lot. I have about 40 bucks in it in parts now, and it is going to be for Nanobug. My first 22 was a Marlin Model 60, which was most every young man's 22. So what I got with this gun was, as you can see, a very rusty barrel. And I'll show everybody, it is unloaded. And it came with a tube. That's all I got. And the bolt. Now, I'm going to show you all a little something on this bolt. I'm going to slide it forward. Okay, we ain't even going to chamber the whole thing. Now I want you to watch that bolt. I'm going to pull this back. That came all the way back. See, it's out. That stayed forward. I didn't know what was all missing. And yes, I do know what's all missing now. So, I have ordered. It is in my drawer right over here. I've got my parts. Move some for the kids' socks. I've got my parts all in that drawer right there. Anyway. So, I'm going to redo this stock. I'm going to redo this barrel. I do have a front sight. After Numrich finally put a schematic up of this bolt, I have found out that the only part I was missing, which I knew I was already missing this part, was the shear pin. I just wanted to make sure everything else was there, which it is. So, except for, as y'all can see right here, this is a band, and it's broken right here. That's the extractor. That extractor is busted, so I ordered that. I ordered a shear pin. I ordered the inner tube that this needed because they are shorter than the Model 60s, which I have a Model 60 I'm going to be restoring here soon. It is from a Glenfield, and it is from 1971. This is one of my older 22s. As y'all know, I am a 22 fanatic. I love to restore these. This one here, this has been in the works of me to work on for 10 years. It's taken me that long to track down all these parts. I don't give up on guns. I have three now that I'm restoring. This one here, a Glenfield Model 60, And I have a Colt 38 Police Special from 1935. And there will be restoration videos on all of those. So I'm going to tear this down. I'm going to show you all. This is the before. I'm going to tear it down. I'm going to get rid of all of the rust. I'm going to re-blue. We're thinking about doing that fancy electric burning. Got a buddy that does it. I'm burning lightning bolts in it and putting some orange through there, or we might leave it plain. It's all on Nana, as this is going to be her gun. Next thing I'm going to have to try and track down is Nanny Bug wants a scope, so I'm going to have to find the side mount scope that goes to this gun so I can put a scope on it for her. But as of right now, this is what the beginning of all this starting out as. And I mean, this gun, like I said, is not in the greatest shape. This was the very first part I found for this gun, was the rear sight. And I bought it. I just now finally found an original front sight, because the front sights are steel with a brass front blade, and I didn't want an all steel blade. I wanted it back to an original, which is the brass front. I know that I know the gun's not going back to original, but I do want original parts. I bought the trigger guard. I bought the entire trigger group assembly that's underneath here. The springs, everything. So we're going to be tearing this down, cleaning it up, re-bluing it, re-sanding, and we'll talk to Nanny on what all she wants. But this is the start of my restoration. I hope you all enjoy. I hope this helps some guys. Do not be discouraged if you can't find parts. They are out there. When they show up, you'll never know. It never hurts to keep looking every now and again. Like I said, this is 10 years in the making. That's the reason I'm doing this one first, is I've owned this gun for 10 years. Well, the barrel and the bolt for 10 years. And now I'm getting all the other parts for it so it can actually be a functional firearm once again. I'll see y'all here in just a little bit. Alright, y'all. So I've been doing a little work. I have to get back on a schematic. I got this together, but this still free floats, and I don't think that should do that. But from what I seen, I had all my parts. Because see, this here's the first part of the firing pin. The second one's in here. This has a spring in here with a firing pin. This is supposed to go forward, down into that hole, hit that, and set it off. So I think I have everything. I'm gonna have to double check. This thing's a little megged up, you know, over the years not being taken care of them. I have to do a little fine filing on her and polishing. But been working on the barrel, as y'all can see. And my puppy wants to come back in from using the bathroom, so I'm gonna get off here and let her back in. Hey y'all, Big Bub here from Big Bub Outdoors. So, we'll update on the bolt. I went back to Newmarch and started going through everything, and there's a couple feeds on there now of people disassembly. I do have a firing pin, but I have two firing pins in this gun. In the front part, there is your front firing pin with a spring. In between that is a rear firing pin. It's about yay long, and it sets in there. And then the rear part of the bolt, when it releases, it goes forward and smacks that one. That one smacks into the firing pin, which sets it off. So I'll have to buy that. So I'm going to post this. This will be part 1 of the restoration. Bye-bye.